Thanks a lot again for this time.
No
So,
worries.
so Scott, I would love to share with my student partners a little bit about you. I've seen that you blog a lot about the news, all these new tendencies and softwares coming out from Microsoft. So to start off, I would love if you could share with us who you are, what is it that you do.
My name is Scott Hanselman, and I work currently in the Web Platform and Tools team. So I manage community for ASP.NET, IIS, IIS Media a little bit, and also starting to work on Azure and Azure Tools. So anything on the web that makes angle brackets that uses Microsoft technology is something that I'm interested in working on.
Great. We have a lot of students that we are pushing a lot for Azure and web development. So tell us a little bit, what's the new stuff for our students to know?
Well, I'm not sure what they're working on now, but I use, right now I'm doing ASP.NET MVC 3. MVC 4 is coming out soon. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming in web forms. We've got the next version of the .NET Framework is going to be a big release for web forms. There's some web form stuff people aren't using right now yet, like routing. More people should use routing. But also we're adding model binding, and we're going to be adding some new JavaScript controls. We just refreshed the Ajax control toolkit, so you'll be able to make HTML5, JavaScript, jQuery applications with web forms that are really nice and clean. So I think the web forms people are going to get a lot of love in the next couple of months. We got a lot more open source. There should be 4 or 5 small open source libraries that we'll be releasing soon. All of those will be up on NuGet. NuGet really is the way to bring these packages together. The Lego pieces, we like to say.
Great. That's awesome. And what is it that you do exactly in your role?
So I manage community. So that means I manage the ASP.NET website. I make sure that the community is being heard. If people are giving feedback and the group is not hearing that. So my title is Community Architect. Architects design software and come up with specifications that hopefully meet the needs of the audience. But sometimes architects get a little too focused. They spend a little bit too much time thinking about the design and not enough time thinking about the customer. So I'm the community architect. I'm the guy who's thinking about the architecture within the context of the community. I make sure that the user is being heard. I get that feedback from Twitter and Facebook and Skype and calls like talking to you. I get it from virtual customer visits. I get it by being out in the community and talking to people a lot, reading open source code, figuring out how people are using the products, and then acting as an advocate for the customer. I also manage all of our conference speaking. And so that means, what is the message, how are the demos being done, how are the stories being told over the course of a year at 30, 40, 50 different conferences. So I manage all of our speakers and our messages that get out that way. And I also do a lot of open source advocacy to make sure that we're releasing things as open source first, rather than making them closed source and then coming out later and opening them up. And then also working on NuGet and NuGet.org and making sure that those things meet the needs of the people.
That's great. Actually, that's something really interesting, the community architect. Say, something that our students have to work a lot with is actually creating and managing communities. Is there any tips, advice you could give, like the steps that you follow to create a successful community and manage them?
Well, I think that openness is important when thinking about community. It's not a good idea to hide anything. Just like with software, they say also fail fast. So if you want to test good software, you want your software to fail quickly so then you can fix it. The same thing is appropriate with community. If you make a mistake or you release bad software or a version of something is incorrect, like the Entity Framework team made some mistakes recently, they immediately apologized, explained, we'll fix it. That's how friends talk to friends. They don't talk like a parent to a child, they talk like this. And in any community, whether it be an academic community or whether it be Microsoft and the open source community, or whether it be just groups within a company, being as open as possible, being as being as frank as possible with people, and also managing expectations. I think that most anger on the internet and most anger around open source is when an expectation is not met. So if someone expects that some software is going to work a certain way or is going to be released on a certain date and it doesn't happen, then that's where the anger comes from. But if you give them all the information that you have available and you are as open as possible, then there's less opportunity for people to be upset.
Yeah.
So the same thing applies in organizing meetings or user groups or the kinds of things that academic folks might want to work on. People get upset when there isn't enough information, and people are happier when there's transparency.
Yeah, that's true. But actually, to be able to have contact and communication, that's something that's really good. And so students can actually recognize that, to be able to talk to Microsoft, to be able to talk with people. But say something that we've noticed about you is that you have a really successful blog. You appear everywhere on the internet. And we hear that you write your own blogs. How is it that you manage to do all that you do, and then what's your success behind the blog?
You mean I write my own blogs? Like, are you saying that someone thinks that someone is writing it for me?
No, I said there's a lot of people out there who actually put their names, but there's someone else writing it for them, answering the emails. But you actually do your own. How
that would be cool. That would be cool. I need someone to do that for me.
No, you give it your way.
The blog is mine. Actually, I saw something recently where someone on a forum said that I was a kept blogger. I was like, a kept blogger, like someone would give me like a big sack of money and free food, and I would just sit around and then write about how wonderful Microsoft is. But it's just not the case. I think it's really important for a blog to have its own voice. And this is my blog, and I talk about what I want to talk about, not anything else.
And
exactly.
Say, for instance, I've started my own blog, but it's always sometimes hard for me to keep posting. Like, how do you write, like, every day? Do you have, like, a schedule that tells you to do it right?
No, I write whenever I feel like it. If you say that it's hard for you to write every day or once or twice a week is enough. But I guess I usually ask people when they are not writing on their blogs enough, what are you doing with your time? Are you watching TV? Are you playing soccer? I mean, what is it that's taking up your time that is preventing you from I guess what I'm saying is that there are many, many, many things that you do that you find time for. You know, people always seem to find time to eat, and people always seem to find time to, go to church or to do other things that are important to them. If blogging was important to you, you would be doing it. Important. For me, the trick is balancing consumption with production. Are you a person who consumes food, consumes books, consumes video games, consumes TV? Are you a person who produces, writes books, writes scripts, writes blog posts, writes code? You have to have a good balance. If you are 99% consuming and 1% producing.
Yeah, there's something off. Yeah, great. Thanks. Balancing consumption with production. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And going over this about blogs and internet and how you balance production, how do you feel that, say, social media is an important part of your work? How do you use it to your advantage? Like, more than just blogs, do you use Facebook, do you use Twitter to enrich your role as with the communities?
Well, I mean, I just go where the people are. Where it's not about Facebook, and it's not about it's wherever the people are. If everyone moves over to Google Plus, then I'll go over to Google Plus and we'll do our work there. I go where the people are to get my job done. So I go where the community is.
Yeah, good.
I guess that's not really a good answer.
No, it actually is. I just went to an interview, a conference about social media, and the closing phrase was, social media is not about Facebook pages or anything like that. It's about people. It makes
Dude,
sense.
yes, exactly. That's exactly right. It the website and the web address is secondary. Totally true.
Yeah. And so, do you know Spanish, by any chance?
Mi familia aprendiendo español, pero es una lengua, lo siento. Aprendiendo español, pero es una lengua muy difícil. Los tensos y los verbos es...
Hey, this is cool. Bueno, sí tienes un acento, buen acento. ¿Aprendiste en España?
Solamente tengo 3 años 3 años de español en la escuela. Mi español es muy malo. Muy, ¿cómo se dice? Simplistic.
Simple, like basic. Básico.
Yeah. Básico. Lo siento.
Well, but you have
en el pasado,
Ajá.
Cuando yo, oh, your video just left. Your video just cut out. Anyway, in the past, I could speak when I was a young man, but not anymore.
Yeah.
I need to visit a Latin American country, and then I'll speak Spanish.
You can probably come to Guatemala. That'll be great. Yeah.
I need to do a Latin America tour of some kind. Then you guys can teach me how to say .net.
Keep me posted. And
I'll come down.